So, you stutter and you finally decided to do something about it. Great job. So, as you can see from this title, this video is going to be on how to conquer the fear of public speaking and how to present something on a whim without even practicing for it. That seems like a great future, like utopia, right? But it's not that hard to achieve, but it will take some decent hard work. So, my name is Victor Zashev, and I stuttered for a long time, since I was 5 years old, and I still do. But I feel like I have conquered it. So let me tell you a story about my first or second presentation that I actively tried to improve and not just avoid it or um, delegate it to somebody else. So I had to present a presentation with a co-classmate about the soil of my home country. And I didn't practice the material or the script very much. That was a big mistake. And I just got stuck on every other word, sorry. And it was absolutely terrible. It was a recipe for disaster. And another time, actually, in the same geography class, maybe you're going to see a pattern here. My teacher, as I was presenting some kind of presentation for the number of people in a particular sector of my country, I made a mistake. I said that there were, I don't remember exactly, maybe 3 cities in our country with a population higher than 100,000, maybe. I don't know the exact number. And so she asked me, what the 3 countries were. And the first 2 were correct. But as I was researching my topic, I made a mistake. The third country had maybe 98,000, not 100. And I made a mistake. But this teacher, she was a bad teacher, I think. There's no way around it. Sorry if you're watching, but she was a bad teacher. And so she ripped out my hard drive that contained the presentation, opened Chrome, and in front of the whole class, as I was standing, she searched up this city and found out, oh no, you made a mistake. They are 98,000, not 100. And that was really embarrassing. I felt that I was just so bad after that. I felt that I studied so much, and then there's no results came out of it, of all this preparing, because for this presentation I had prepared a lot. So let's move on to my wins. So that story was about 2 years ago, maybe, to now, maybe 4 months ago, I finally did a whole presentation where I wasn't worried. I didn't feel like I was stuttering that much, and it was that noticeable. There weren't any breaks. And you have to know that all it takes is one good presentation to fuel you, to make you feel that you can do it again and again. And that's what I want to achieve for you. That was 2-3 months ago, where I also prepared very much, to now. Maybe a week ago, I presented something that wasn't freshly practiced. I had no script, and I did it without a hitch. It was great. So, how to actually do this? First off, you have to accept that you're different. You cannot just go in front of the whole class without knowing anything about the material that you are going to present and think it will be a success. That does not happen. Okay? So, you have to practice, practice, practice. So, how to do that? You prepare everything. Let's say a presentation. And for this presentation, you have a script. So you take the script and you shut yourself in a room with no people and keep practicing. I have decided that maybe 5 to 10 times is enough for the whole presentation, and make it as realistic as possible. So do not sit in a chair if you know that you're going to be presenting standing. Make it as realistic as possible. Even play out your own little dialogue to the imaginary audience in front of you. And also, this practice must be around a week or 3 days before the presentation date. You cannot pilot at the last minute and think that it's going to have a profound effect. It's not going to do that. So, many may say that this seems excessive. Wow, 5 to 10 times practicing everything? Well, while many people may say that, even if you go to a speech therapist may say that, I find it that it really helps. And also, on that point, if you go to a speech therapist, I have found that it rarely goes well if you try to practice it there. Why? Because first off, you may not have a room to move, because if you move a lot, it relaxes you. So when you're presenting, do not stand like a rock. Do not do that. Also, there isn't any opportunities to crack some jokes that I'm going to talk about later. And when you're in the speech therapist session, the stuttering is on the forefront of your mind, and you have to dissociate from that if you're going to have a successful presentation. Also, carry the list of information for the presentation with you, and do not learn it by heart, but keep it as a map, a guide to what you need to say, maybe some bullet points you can write there, because when you're in front of the class, you are going to be a bit stressed. You cannot be as relaxed as a cucumber if you're first starting out. And you may find it comforting to substitute some words that you know are hard to say with some that are easier to say. While this practice is not encouraged, it certainly helps when you're a beginner and you're trying to build some confidence presenting. So, on the day that you're going to present, before the presentation, I have found that stomach aches are very common. You are going to dread the presentation. You are going to feel like you can't breathe. and you're going to overthink all the worst outcomes of the event. Well, I have not found a way to minimize these effects other than just practicing the whole process. So, presenting 20 different topics in front of a large group will minimize them to a very large extent. But they are normal and you cannot escape them very easily. So what you're going to do during the presentation? So I have found that if I have a pen or something in my hands, like this remote, with which I can point at the presentation, it's much easier. So I'll find something like a pen or a marker to fidget during the presentation, and on that point, talk with your hands. Move. That's the most important thing. Move to not be like a rock, because if you think about it, a stutter is a block, like a pause. And if you just stay still like a rock, you're just going to enforce the blocks to keep coming. So move around and talk with your hands. Also, if you know the audience, like you are with your classmates and you know them, I found that it's very helpful to crack a few jokes. Maybe ask for a volunteer. Ask your close friend to answer the question that you have. It's going to relax you. It's going to put you in a familiar mood, and it's going to feel like you're just cracking jokes with your friends, which is very good if you want to stave off the nerves that are going to build. And also, laugh at your own jokes, and do not try to be perfect. That's very, very important. Um, Stuttering is a perfectionist's worst nightmare. You cannot be perfect all the time. You have to let yourself have a little wiggle room, and to make mistakes and to not feel bad about them. You have to do that. So, after the whole presentation, they are going to be one of two outcomes. So, first one, the presentation went great. You felt like you didn't pause that much. There were no bad stories like before. So, you're going to feel absolutely fantastic. You're going to feel exhilarated. You're going to feel that you have conquered something that is important to you, and it must be, because as a stutterer, I feel like I obsess over my speech the most, and when I do something that I didn't know that I could do before, the feeling is absolutely great. And on that point, nobody else in the classroom is going to realize how far you've come. So do not expect some applause or celebration. Nobody cares, actually. And on that point, if the presentation goes bad, and worse, you maybe had a block in front of everyone, or the teacher stopped you, or something other or something like that happened. I found myself imagining that everyone else is going to talk about the failure of Victor for days, weeks. I'm going to be remembered for this. They're going to talk behind my back about it. No, nothing like that ever happened. Ever. When I asked my close friend, you know, how many times have you discussed this? I mean, my blogs with someone else. He said once. Only one other person, sorry, um, did ask him, what my deal was, why I was making blogs. So do not stress over that. I know that it's very easier said than done. I have felt that I can't even do the most basic task after failing the presentation. Not to mention the downfall of self-esteem. You may even cry on your way home from school or from the university. All of this to say, you can't live like this forever. You have to change something. You can't keep dreading the fact that you're going to present forever. Because as the years go by, if you're in university, in college, in a job, you are going to have to host some kind of presentation. So you have to conquer that fear. So, as a conclusion, the key to mastering the art of presenting is not to avoid them. Very importantly, think of each presentation as a opportunity to learn something new. Maybe how to be less stressed, how to crack jokes, how to behave in front of an audience. And you have to have a growth mindset that you're going to get better the more you try. But I'm not going to lie to you. The first time you're going to present something, if you haven't already, it's going to be a recipe for disaster. You are going to fail. You are going to be embarrassed. You may even cry. You may be even anxious for a day or two after that. But the second time, you're going to feel 5% less stressed. You are going to fail again. But all it takes is one presentation to make you feel that you can do it. So think of each presentation as an opportunity, as a shot you can take for that one perfect presentation. If you manage to do it, then every other presentation is going to feel easy. It's going to feel like you can do this all day. You aren't going to feel stressed anymore. All this leads to a happier life where you know that you have beaten something that has bothered you, maybe since you know yourself, the fear of speaking. So, as a send-off, think of all of this as a way for you to live a happier life and to beat your stutter. Have a nice day.